Good afternoon. My name is Darren Hanna, and I am your instructor for ethical issues in schools and society. And as I look at the Moodle, it seems like quite a few of you have gotten off to a good start, have figured out how to operate in the Moodle, and are doing both your quizzes and your forums. And so I just wanted to take a few minutes to go through some things that might help you out here. The first one is looking at your quizzes. Okay, so we have 2 in section 1, and those quizzes are over Palmer's chapter 4. You do have multiple attempts, so I've received a few emails. This is not your normal type of quiz where we're trying to discern anything special other than whether or not you were able to connect with the reading and what that connection was. You have multiple attempts on the quiz, so really if you wanted to open it up, look at the questions, and then be able to help with focusing your reading, that would be fine. And then answer the quizzes, and then we'll take your last attempt, or the one that has the information in it, and that'll be the one that I review to see what your thoughts were on the quiz. One of the reasons we use the quiz is in some sections, especially in the first one when you're first getting started, I try to divide up between using forums and quizzes. The quiz is for me to get your responses so they come to me, and I can kind of get a feel for what you're getting out of the reading. When we do forums, it's kind of turns that over to you as a class discussion where you are reading and posting and replying, gets kind of an online discussion going on. And most of you have figured out that can get a little lengthy when you're replying, and so we try to divide up a little bit between quizzes and forums depending on whether we're trying to get a whole class discussion or just get some reflections on what you think using a quiz. So that should help you with doing the quizzes. As far as the forums go, it's really an online discussion, and there are forums in this section. In section 1, we have the 5 forums. Okay, I try to keep the reading to a really small bit, and so it looks like a lot when you first read. You go, oh my goodness, look at all those forums. But if you look at the number of pages you're reading, it's sometimes easier to chunk a piece of text, put your thoughts down, reply, and so even though we have 5 forums in section 1, they're over a very small piece of reading. And so I'm trying to isolate what it is that you're thinking about and commenting on, and then do the next bit in the next forum. I did take some of the forums. I added, made sure they were all on there. There are a few of the forums. The last few, if you look at the directions in the Moodle, I did lessen those to 1 reply just to try and help ease into the course. Mostly I've had some questions on some differences between the syllabus and the Moodle, and I apologize for that, but as I'm making adjustments based on what's happening in the class, my advice is always go by the Moodle, because it's easier for me to change the Moodle listening to your feedback than it is to change the syllabus and resend the syllabus and then which copy we are. So the Moodle is really up to date. And again, if you have any questions, please call me. I've had several emails or calls, and we've tried to work through those things. But like I said, the easiest adjustment to our coursework is to change things in the Moodle as they come up. And I will try to email you or shoot a video and talk about those changes so that everybody's up to speed. Generally speaking, we try to do 1 post, okay, and we try to do that in the first half of the section. So when you're looking at section 1, and I put the dates up there, February 10th through February 20th, generally speaking, I try to go to a week and a half to 2 weeks, depending on how much time we have for the total length of the course per section. What we're really trying to get you to do in the forums is to be able to comment or do your first post, what you think about the text in the first half of that section. So in this first one, we were looking February 10th to February 15th-ish, because that would be about halfway. Okay, so my advice is do your post first. Go through, read the text, do your post, get all those done. If we can get those done in the first half of the section, then that gives people time to respond in the second half. What we've found in past courses when we didn't do it that way is people were making posts. They would usually go in order, and they would post and then try to reply, and not everybody's replies would be in, and then we would wait, and then it would be hard for them to get it done. So if we can get everybody to make their original post in the first half of the section, the time allotted for the section, then that will get people to reply in the second half. It's a general rule. Okay, so I did put February 15th down. However, if you don't get to it to February 16th, the world is not going to end. But just remember that people need to have time to reply, and so we really need to try as best we can to get those done. Okay, as far as my participation in that, right now I'm running 2 courses concurrently, and there are 20 people in each course. So I have 40 people. I will read all of those responses. I may respond periodically to you individually. I may respond in some posts that I just add to the forum for the general group to think about, and I probably will do some videos where I kind of summarize what I'm reading in your post and some of my thoughts based on what you're saying and what past participants have said, and make sure we keep a dialogue going that way. The next thing I want to talk a little bit about is workload. Because about now, you're starting to get in here and look and say, ooh, that's a lot of forums and a lot of posts. Here's what we're up against. Okay, so when we look at the coursework, all right, we should have, for 3 credits, 37.5 clock hours while we're actually in the Moodle, okay, and we should have about 90 clock hours outside the Moodle. So if this course was running on a weekly basis, okay, we could make an assignment and we could do some things Google Hangout, and then you would work between weeks to complete assignments. That's the normal way the course works in when you do it spread out like that. For us, however, because of the fact that all of you have full-time jobs, right, and those jobs, just like mine, are very time-consuming, we try to condense. Okay, which means we're trying to do, 37.5 hours in class and 90 clock hours outside of class, between the time of February 10th and the middle of April when the paper is due. That's a pretty compressed time period. Okay, so I'm trying to make some adjustments while preserving the integrity of the coursework that's required to get the credits. Okay, so you will see there, it seems like a lot, but I will try to do it in ways that we can do forums and discussions and chunking the reading and other things that help us get through the content in the shorter time span than a semester. So bear with me. I'm always open to feedback if things aren't going well and you start to feel that there are some things that need to be adjusted. I'm always open to that. I will try very hard to balance what needs to be accomplished in the way of content and time with the schedule that you already have that is very, very busy and complicated. So again, feedback is always welcome. The last thing I want to talk a little bit about, and I'll go back to the Moodle. In the beginning, I had talked about, I had put in a forum in the beginning at the top under announcements that was about Google Hangouts. And one thing that I wanted to try this time was to get a little face-to-face feedback for those who need that. Many people like the online forum, like doing their work, sitting in their easy chair, taking care of business. Other people still need some face-to-face time to process. And so I wanted to offer that option. And right now, the tool that I have available is Google Hangouts. And so I did post in both sections, 040 and 041, a Google Hangout forum in which if you wanted to participate, again, this is not mandatory, but I would make myself available for an hour once a week for some face-to-face time if that will help answer your questions and help you process some of the content. And so I will be emailing out specifically to each section, but please read that forum at the top of your Moodle. It talks about which day and time that we'll be doing that. I did get some responses in that forum, not a lot of responses, and that's fine. What I will end up doing is I will send a link to the Hangout. I will open it up at the time designated for your section. I will send a link out through the Moodle, okay, that you can click on and then come into that Hangout. Because this is just what we get when we get a Gmail account, I can have 10 people on at a time. So if the number of people in a section exceeds 10 that want to join that, we're going to have to do a little playing around. I believe that as long as you try to log in and there are less than 10, I'll be able to let you into the forum. Okay, so if you get on there and it says it's full, I will still be on for that full hour. Try back. If we get a lot of people in each section and we want to do that, we may have to divide it into 10 in the first section, first half hour, and the other 10 in the second half hour. We'll figure that as we go on. But I wanted to make sure that for those of you that face-to-face time helps you process, that we would supply that. So looks like we're off to a good start. I'm going to start reading forums and giving you some feedback in those 3 ways that I talked about. Hang in there with the workload. Give me suggestions. Email me, call me, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're getting what you need to complete the course. I think you'll find as we start to examine these ethical issues that it's something that we confront every day. And sometimes it takes a little time away just to think about it, to figure out how we really should respond in an ethical way in the school setting. So have a great rest of your weekend, and I will be in touch. Thanks.